Hey settlers, I'm your host, Ben. And here is the true hidden story that I feel needs telling. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you're listening to it on the podcast, give us a follow. The Timekeeper of Ashton, Keynes. Ashton, Keynes is one of those Cotswold villages you'd almost think was too perfect to be real. Stone cottages, gravel paths, a river that runs right through the middle of it, lazy and silver in the morning mist. In 1977, the village had no shop but 2 pubs, no post office, but a postman who, of course, knew everyone and knew everything about the village. And just off Church Walk, in a cottage covered in ivy and stubborn roses, lived Nora and Harold Mercer. Retired, married 42 wonderful years, proud owners of a Labrador named Midge, and a grandfather clock which they never asked for. Nora's sister, Beatty, had always been considered the odd one, bookish, aloof, lived alone in Devon with a dozen cats. It's cliche, but there's a cliche for a reason, and, of course, had a deep suspicion of electrical appliances. When she passed away peacefully in her armchair, the solicitor arranged for his belongings to be sorted. Nora and Harold inherited 2 things: a collection of faded postcards from the Isle of Wight and a massive grandfather clock. Oak, Victorian, heavy as sin. "I don't want the blasted thing," Nora said. "Too late," said the lorry driver. "It's in now." They placed it in the hallway, between the coat rack and the telephone table. It ticked, slowly, proudly. It seemed harmless. The first oddity came the very next morning. Nora was up first. She noticed the pendulum swinging as usual, but the ticking had stopped. She rolled her eyes. She thought it odd, gave it a look. The hands showed 4:43. But it was 6:20. She wound it up carefully, like she'd seen Beatty do when they were girls. It ticked again, no problem. That afternoon, Harold adjusted the time. He turned the minute hand forward to match the kitchen clock. The next morning it read 4:43 again. They started keeping track. Every time they adjusted the clock, if they moved it forward, it would reset itself back. If they moved it back, it would jump ahead, always correcting and seemingly always resisting. Midge, their Labrador, became obsessed with the hallway. She'd lie in front of the clock for hours, ears pricked, on full alert. One night, completely out of character, she started barking, loudly and angrily, at 2:03 a.m. They both got up. The clock read 4:43. It was Harold's turn to roll his eyes. "Runs in the family," Harold muttered. Beatty had always claimed the clock was special. She'd call it the Timekeeper. Said it has always been the family. Said it had been the family for generations, that it only misbehaved when someone was near death or lying about something. She told Nora once in a postcard that the clock helped her see things properly. Harold thought it was rubbish. Nora secretly wasn't so sure. Midge wouldn't go near the pendulum anymore. That spring, things escalated. They started hearing footsteps in the hallway, slow, deliberate footsteps. Sometimes the coat rack would sway, as if someone had brushed past it. Harold found the phone off the hook one morning. He hadn't touched it. One afternoon, the vicar came for tea. As they chatted, the grandfather clock began to chime 4 times. The vicar went pale. It's not 4 o'clock, Nora said. "I know," the vicar replied, "but I was thinking of 4 people who died here before 1950, right before it rang." He didn't stay long after that. Word got around, as it does in small places. People in the White Hart whispered about that loony clock. Mrs. Vale from Church Lane said her uncle had owned it once, claimed it 8 times. An old gardener said that he'd seen the pendulum stop mid-swing and stay there for 10 whole minutes. One child refused to deliver papers to the Mercers after he heard ticking over the phone line. Then Midge disappeared for a full day. When she returned, her tail was between her legs. She hid under the stairs and refused to eat. That night, the ticking stopped. When Nora tried to reset the time, it wouldn't move. Harold swore he saw something behind the glass, a reflection that didn't match their own. Nora finally opened up one of BT's old postcards. It read, "You don't own the clock, it owns you. One lie brings the reset. One truth and it calms. I know you never forgave me for what happened to Thomas." Harold turned white. Thomas was Nora's first fiancé, died in a car crash. Everyone said it was the brakes, but BT had once claimed it was sabotage. Nora whispered, "I never knew if she meant it." They sat in silence as the pendulum swung. On the morning of Midge's death, natural causes, old age, the clock struck 12. It wasn't noon, it wasn't midnight, but it chimed 12 times, loud, slow, and clear. After that, the clock never ticked again. They decided it was not worth getting repaired. They left it standing, never touched it, covered it with a sheet. But even under the fabric, some nights if you walk by slowly, you swear you hear it breathing. Some say BT cursed the clock. Others think it's just older than the village itself. It still stands in Ashton Keynes in that very same hallway. And after 50 plus years, the cottage is now owned by a new couple who claim the clock has never worked. But they keep it anyway. Because once during a storm of 2006, the power went out. And in the silence, they both heard it chime 4 times. It's remained silent ever since. Thank you for staying with me. If you got this far, you most likely like lost stories. Thusly, I recommend this story next. And please give us a like and subscribe too.